Then after a little bit about myself, we move on to a very brief summary. Before we go into details, we would like to touch some important areas about DipIFR qualification. It is called Diploma in International Financial Reporting Standards. Uh, Almost 180 countries, wherever ACCA is recognized, IFRS is recognized. It's almost 180 countries, I would say, but more than 100 countries are where actively IFRS are being implemented. In other countries, it is being recognized. Some countries are in the transition phase. In some countries, they have their local gap as well as the IFRS. Some are doing transition and so on. It's just one single exam to pass. And this exam is conducted actually twice a year, June and December. So you people who are sitting here today, it's in March. So most of you people, for you, the appropriate exam attempt would be December 2026 because June is just too close. It covers IFRS part from ACCA professional qualification. What does that mean? Now, you guys know that you have this ACCA qualification, which is like, we call it ACCA professional qualification. That qualification, it has like 13 exams, okay? And it takes 3 years to complete ACCA. We say, oh, that's an ACCA. But the papers which are related to financial reporting and financial accounting, that part is covered by IFRS. So if you ask me ACCA or DipIFR, so DipIFR is also a qualification by ACCA. So ACCA has ACCA professional qualification, which has 13 exams like this one, and then ACCA DipIFR, which has only one exam. So if you say that ACCA DipIFR versus professional qualification is a much bigger thing because it includes financial reporting, financial management, performance management, law, audit, taxation, and many other areas. But like a lot of people who are somewhere in the middle of their career, they do not want to take a long journey of taking 13 exams, which probably would take 3 years. That's pretty much challenging. And in that thing, you have to study audit, you have to study tax, you have to study law, you have to study financial management, business strategy, and so on. And you might say that I'm not interested in everything. I am only interested in improving my IFRS knowledge. So if that is the case, that you don't want to continue your or take up that big challenge of 13 exams, and you just need one qualification which you can do quickly, complete quickly, add it to your CV, and get some knowledge that is only IFRS read, because this is what you do. Oh, I'm a chief accountant. I'm not involved with audit or taxation. I'm involved with financial reporting or IFRS financial statements. Then this is the qualification. So DipIFR, it was actually created for working accountants so that they can focus only on this particular area, which is financial reporting under IFRS, and they can get it done within 6 months' time. It entitles to ACCA exemption. So some people, they ask that if I do DipIFR and then I go to ACCA professional qualification because I really want to put myself into that trouble of taking 13 exams, so I want to continue later on in ACCA, then you will get only one exemption, which is FR, financial reporting. It gives you only one exemption from ACCA FR, which is also called ACCA F7. So it means that if you complete your diploma in IFRS and then you go to ACCA, one exam you don't have to take, you have to take 12 papers. And by the way, it is also possible that you might get some exemptions based on your university degree as well, because you did. Now, I'm putting some ideal case, an ideal scenario. There is someone sitting in this session today who did his bachelor's degree or probably master's degree from some local university in accounting. Now, based on this bachelor's or master's degree in accounting or finance, ACCA probably will give you exemption in F1, then in F2, then in F3 first three papers. And then you do this, your dip IFR, you get exemption from F7 as well. So out of 13 exams, your 1, 2, 3, 4 exams are gone, and you will only be required to take 9 exams, because one exemption will be given based on dip IFR. And then probably you might get 1, 2, 3 exemptions based on your university qualification, which you previously completed. It focuses on applying the IFRS standards and preparing IFRS based financial statements. Average time to complete 4 to 5 months. Average time to complete 4 to 5 months, but then you say, okay, 4 to 5 months means how many hours? I mean, how much do I have to study in for? So we assume that during 4 to 5 months, actually, what is required is around 180 to maximum 200 hours. This is the maximum side. Probably you can also do it in 160. So I would say that it will depend on your academic strength as well as your current role, because some of you people are already working with IFRS, and some of you people have some level of knowledge, maybe a reasonable level of knowledge. You might be spending 160 hours. There are some other people who either are not working under an IFRS environment, or they have not really good knowledge or fair enough knowledge in IFRS, or maybe they are academically weak. They probably have to spend 200 hours. So it is 160 to 200 hours, minimum maximum thing. And that time period usually is given by people, working professional, in 4 to 5 months. Because what you can do maximum per week is 10 to 12 hours of effort. This is what I have seen, what people can give maximum. You might commit yourself more extensively. You might say that, oh, I'm going to do 20 hours per week. I know that in week one, you will do 20 hours, but in week two, you will only do 8 hours. So ultimately, you will end up somewhere here. So if you can spend 10 to 12 hours per week and you do it consistently, you can complete this syllabus entire and get ready for exam in next 4 to 5 months. Okay. But consistency is the key here. You have to be consistent. Okay. Weekly effort 10 to 12 hours, I have already mentioned here.